Welcome to Razoractive. I'm Evon.
And I think Sarah.
Yeah, the last time I checked you were. Well, we're on the topic of Formula One. It has packed up and rolled out of town. And in our living room tonight, a couple of guests to talk about post-F1 fever, if you will.
Yes, and they are favourite guests, of course.
Yeah, our favourite Razoractive guests.
Like calling them that over and over
That's
and over
what they say,
again.
right? All the time. I've been.
Oh, no!
No, this is the first time I've said it. This is Ernest, by the way.
Yes, that's Ernest, the man with the walking target.
Yes, he's a walking target.
Ernest Lewis, and of course, he is from the newspaper.
Deputy Sports Editor.
And
we have
Kaylen, the pretty girl who is purposely sulking for 1 second.
She's really good with the F1 stuff because she's the editor of F1 SG.
No, F1GPS.
F1GPSG.com forum. And we have
That's
Leonard
a
Lim.
mouthful.
Yes, we have Leonard Lim.
And
That's
Leonard
not
Lim.
a mouthful.
Yeah, Leonard Lim
Lim.
is not so much of a mouthful, but
Sports writer, Straits
sounds
Times.
like he actually moonlights as a superhero.
Oh, which one?
I don't know, but like, you know,
The one
Leonard
with the
Lim,
striped polo.
Lex Luthor, you know, that kind of
Yeah.
right? Sounds
Okay.
like
Back to the topic of the day.
Yes.
back to the topic of the day.
The reason why we're all here tonight is because you guys are, you are a sports writer, you're a sports deputy editor, and you are a
F1 enthusiast.
Yes. So we're on the topic of F1, and what better than these people to talk about it?
Yes.
Well, to begin with, the F1 revved up temperatures all around with the hot action. So it's rolled out of town, yes, for now, but it's time to take stock of the thrills and the spills of Singapore Grand Prix 2008.
So let's take a look at this clip.
Glitz, glamour, bright lights, big city. Oh yeah, and there was a race as well. The inaugural Singapore Grand Prix immediately put Singapore on the global sports map. It's estimated that up to 500 million people in 200 countries tuned in to the historic night race, and Singapore did not disappoint. F1 Supremo Bernie Ecclestone called it the jewel in the crown of F1. Well, we're sure he commanded a king's ransom to cater to an European TV audience. And Williams driver Nico Rosberg gave the track 9 out of 10, saying it's a fantastic track and a lot of fun. Mind you, he came in second, his best finish ever. Okay, well, we might take what Bernie and Nico had to say with a pinch of salt. Here's what the world media thought of us. Newspaper and TV reports hailed the event as a stunning success, calling Singapore a world-class venue for one. The Singapore GP is expected to generate up to $100 million annually in revenues. Well, many Orchard Road retailers said business was up by about 20% over the weekend, thanks to the influx of tourists. The event has generated much buzz in the marina area, but the F1 wasn't a roaring success for everyone. Those working around the marina circuit complained about the inconveniences caused by road diversions put up to make way for the track. Despite an extensive business continuity plan, stores in the marina area were hit by road closures, which left shopping malls deserted over the weekend. And commuters complained about having to walk to work because they couldn't get in. And in the heartlands, people were generally disinterested. Some have attributed the lack of interest to the view that the Grand Prix is a domain of the rich. Well, we were not invited, they feel. Well, the super rich had their complaints too, the drivers. On the track, they complained that it was too bumpy and that it was nearly impossible to do any overtaking. So as much as a success Singapore's first Grand Prix was, there's lots of room for improvement. Identifying them early will go a long way to make it better. And I, for one, can't wait for next year's race.
So most of you were there for the F1, I know for sure. I wasn't, but this is why you're here to tell me all about it.
That's why you guys are going to tell us about it. So,
yeah.
What was your experience like on track? Well, first of all, you actually were in a car, right, Leonard? And you took it for a spin.
I thought this was not supposed to come out, but okay, yes. On Saturday, I was in a Fiat 500 car with about 10 other journalists. We did about 4 or 5 laps around the circuit itself. It was a good experience. Very, very bumpy. And many tight corners, so I can really feel what the F1 drivers have to go through.
So you
Very
empathize
challenging,
in a way.
yeah.
So
Very
it
challenging
is
circuit.
a challenging circuit?
Yeah, many turns. I think it's 23 turns, which is 8 more than the usual
Usually
F1
it's
circuit.
16, right?
So in summary, which were the turns that were the really problematic ones with the bumps and all that?
I think turn 7, right?
Turn 7, yeah.
At the end of turn 7, there's a lot of bumps. I mean, the drivers, I didn't drive it, because he had the privilege.
Okay.
But I managed to...
Someone sounds a little so...
No, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. But he should have worn his safety helmet, no? But that's another point. No, but I was talking to a Formula BMW driver who, his Romanian guy, Doru, and he actually was the first person to win a trophy on that circuit. So he was actually running me through the race, at which points, and he said, of course, most of the drivers, I think in difficulty as you're approaching down Raffles Boulevard, is that there are so many bumps. When you're braking, right, Nico Rosberg was saying, when you're braking, because of the bumps, right, your leg starts to jerk when you're on the brakes.
Yeah.
So he said you literally have to just
throw yourself into it, right?
throw yourself, and you can lose control, you see. So that was tricky, but
But aren't tracks like Monaco and all that equally bumpy? I mean, it's a street circuit as well. You know, that one is like cobblestone.
Yeah, so the question is Singapore any bumpier than Monaco?
I don't know. I haven't seen a circuit as bumpy as that since the Detroit Grand Prix, and that was like in the late 80s or something. And because you see a lot of sparks. But turn
10, I think.
Turn 10, yeah.
The contentious one, just after St. Andrews.
Because of the curbs.
The high curbs, yeah.
Why don't you tell us about that? You drove over those pimple curbs.
You drove over there.
I didn't drive over it, but that's where Fisichella went airborne for a while, I think. Because he hit the high curbs. So
that beautiful.
I think after first practice on Friday, after the complaints from the drivers, the organisers shaved a bit off the curbs. Even before that, yeah.
They shaved it, yeah.
But I think it was still too high, and after Saturday's qualifying, they shaved off a bit more to make the drivers happy.
Man, I wonder what they used to shave the thing down so fast. But yeah.
LTA, right? Was on standby. Yeah. They call it the pimple curbs. Weird.
With the pimple, pimply sort of
bumps.
Pimple bumps.
One pill.
Like
That's it. That's it.
I see.
Exactly
No wonder.
right.
Now, do you think, therefore, that we will probably see a change in the track next time around?
I don't know. I mean, I think that maybe Raffles Boulevard is a good place to overtake. The other one at the end of Esplanade Drive, when you're turning back on towards the Esplanade side. So that means, when they reach there, that was identified before the race as a corner where there could be overtaking. But the problem is the cars are taking that corner a bit too fast. So I think they need to make that corner a bit sharper. So the cars have to slow down a lot more. That encourages overtaking. And then they move on. So maybe that's... Even turn 1 also, I thought they could have made it better suited for overtaking.
I think one place that will definitely change is the pit lane entry and exit.
Yeah.
Because drivers
that's
are complaining
one
of
of the
that
criticisms.
is very dangerous, I think.
The
way it's designed. Bless you.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah,
You have something to
the
say
way
about
they were
the pit
designed.
entries?
But yeah, I think the design of the pit lane entry and exit is pretty dangerous. But the pit lane entry was modified, but not the exit.
But it wasn't enough because apparently they extended the line a little, but it was like right after a fast speed corner, and then it was like practically like if one car is to go in and the other car is going this way, it's very.
And we saw it, right, with Barrichello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, on the Friday practice, he banged them. Hit the
Well,
wall.
Almost.
is that, do you think that, the poor pit design is one of the reasons why, the bungled pit job that we all know of occurred?
No?
I think it was the lollipop thing.
Yeah.
It's more the design of the Ferrari, how they do their pit stop system.
Yeah.
Because
The error of the human, because apparently it was like a traffic light system instead of a lollipop there, right? They have like this mechanic who controls like, okay, let's say we are okay to go on already, free to leave the pit. So I'll press the green light and then you can go. So what happened was that usually if they had mistake, right, it was because the drivers left the pit when it was still red light. But this time around they left the pit when it was green light, which is okay, but the mechanic failed to see that they were still refueling.
Yeah, it wasn't driver's fault.
But the Ferrari boss, Lucas Montezemolo,
Montezemolo.
that one.
Montezemolo, hey!
Montezemolo.
You got to
He
call him,
actually
man. No wonder he's
called-
unhappy with
I
you.
am not Italian, So yeah, but he said that we have a circus track.
But I think it's just
cornered
it's
track.
just sour grapes on his part. There was
I think he
four-
might have choked over his tomatoes back home.
because both his drivers didn't score points.
Yeah.
So it's he's just being sore on his part.
Yeah.
So it's no fault of the Singapore track at all?
I'm sure. Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, Kimi was doing well until the last lap.
Yeah,
Then he lost
that's right.
some concentration.
But Kimi has been running into the walls in the last few races,
Oh, you have a Kiwi fan over there who is sitting very quietly.
Dead silence, dangerous silence.
The cricket coming from the corner. Do you want to shift over to the sofa for a bit?
That's why I got a target, right?
Okay, Kaylen, you can let fly now.
So, Kaylen, like, what do you
Defend
think?
Kimi.
He will score point in the next round in Japan.
But you were so adamant that he still could possibly make
he
it
was
as a
nearly
champion.
There, he was nearly there.
Oh, you are blushing right now, by the way.
Four laps away, you know, just too bad. But yeah,
So were you upset by the loss?
yeah, quite.
Quite.
Yeah.
Now, did all of you or any of you actually expect the results that we got? With Alonso coming in first,
No way,
Rosberg second.
I'm sure no one did.
But I
Because
think
No
during
way.
the second and third practice, we were thinking that Alonso would make
Yeah.
it until his car gave up during
Yeah.
the
qualifying.
But still, none of y'all were like, no way, no way.
No
Because-
way, man. Street circuit 15 and it's not raining. You start 15 on the grid. It's not
No way.
raining. It's very difficult unless a lot of...
And there's very little chance of overtaking, I think, on this circuit,
Yeah.
especially. So
Yep.
So,
some people are saying it's an inside job, I think, that PK crashed purposely.
Yeah.
So the safety
Really?
car could come out.
I don't think so.
really? I mean,
That's what they... Yeah.
That's the,
Okay, that's the speculation going on.
speculation.
It's quite hard. I mean, so PK, I tell you what, why don't you just throw it in into it,
and
and
just
smash
try
it?
a multi-million-dollar vehicle
Yeah.
for your...
I mean, in Japan, I'll do it.
Yeah.
My turn.
But
Maybe.
were there any other unexpected? Did you expect Rosberg, for example, to come in second, and for Hamilton to actually only come in third?
Rosberg, I thought he could have finished in the top 5, because, the car was performing well.
Yes,
He was doing a lot of good hard work and PR, appearing all over the place in Singapore.
Yeah, we had talked about that.
Yeah, he deserves some kind of reward, but
He was
the
kind of
second
helped
place.
by the stewards.
Yeah.
They were quite late to inform the Williams
Yes.
that he has to officially go inside for the penalty.
Mm.
Yeah, so he was allowed to set a lot of fast laps to build the gap. So that helped him to get the second place. Otherwise, I don't think that he can actually be in the second place.
I think some people beat our
Yeah, these are emotional things.
Yeah, the emotional. She the Kimi
emotional
Räikkönen fan a bit.
Yeah,
That's what they gam guan.
That's what fandom is all about.
And what about you, Leonard? What do you
I think as for Hamilton, it was pretty expected. Like he started second, so coming in third was okay. But I think he could have pushed for second, but he was told to hold back and not take too much risk. Since he was going for the championship, just get to the
Especially
points.
because also it's a very risky circuit, right?
Because one wrong move and you're into the walls and the barriers.
All the factors actually favoured Ferrari from the start. The soft tyres and the super soft, they actually do suit the Ferraris. Even the Ferrari boss himself said, Domenicali, he said, and all the positions, first and third qualifying, and Hamilton actually, the McLarens, they don't actually perform well on the softer tyres.
Yeah, they don't.
So I think it was just his own individual ability that got him there in second. And so it was really a disaster for
The mechanic.
the race.